So I put a survey on Instagram in my story and asked what would you like to hear about on the podcast and just put a few options out there. The number one response was about body image. So let's dive in. Welcome to the Intuitive Eating Mama podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer D'Amato. I am an intuitive eating counselor and I'm also a mom to 4. This podcast is not just for mamas, it's for all women who are ready to ditch diets, ditch the scale and food guilt forever, and instead invite peace with food, increase their body trust, and confidence in all of her choices. I believe this show is going to shed some light on sneaky ways diet culture has infiltrated your thoughts, your family, and your well-being. No matter the episode, I want you to walk away feeling informed, inspired, and encouraged. So whether you're taking a walk, washing the dishes, or carting kids around, let's dive into the latest episode on the Intuitive Eating Mama podcast. I am never surprised that body image is like a number one topic. It's because, in my humble opinion, that we have been living for a very long time believing something's wrong with our body. It's not small enough, it's not fit enough, it's not thin enough, it's not strong enough, it's not enough. There's something wrong with it. It's too large, it's too big. The size I wear, I can't find clothes even easily accessible. Like there's something wrong with me, my body. And I just was coaching my group clients and this topic came up as well. Again, it's top of mind all the time. And one of the questions asked in group was, will I ever be okay? Will I ever like my body? Will I ever be okay with it? Because I have spent so many years hating it, not liking it, talking negatively about it, depriving it, restricting it, abusing it, hurting it, judging it. My answer is yes. Yes, I believe you can get there. But like I was talking to my clients about, sometimes the goal we think, we have when it comes to our body image is not the one that actually serves us best. And we'll dive into this more in group coaching and be able to support you in that. But I want to tell you, no matter what you think right now, I promise you, you can get to a place where you're no longer living in the negativity. It just might mean you're more neutral. You've heard me talk about this on the podcast. I'm not like this huge body positivity advocate because I believe if we set ourselves up that we, think, I have to be positive all the time, I have to like my body all the time, it actually sets us up in the opposite direction for feeling like a failure. It's not really what I'm here to talk about today, but, I just want to show you, if you're thinking about your body, you're thinking about your body image, you're thinking about how you feel about your body, judging your body, kind of in a negative spiral downward about your body, you're not alone. It comes up all the time in the work that I do. And I was thinking, really, what is it I share with my clients that helps the most with improving their body image? And do you want to know what it is? I know I feel like one of those I wish I had sound effects kind of podcast. I think they're annoying on most podcasts, but I feel like a little drum roll, a little like audience reaction. All right, you do yours right now while you're listening. I think what we don't consider when it comes to improving our body image, when it comes to really addressing how we feel about our body, what I tell my clients is we don't start with our body at all. Meaning we don't start with body image. We don't come and address the thoughts about our body immediately. We just don't. I believe the secret to improving your body image is actually in what you eat, when you eat, allowing yourself to eat, not judging yourself for what you eat, honoring your body when it wants to eat,
respecting your body when it's done, like seeing satisfaction as a form of self-care. The secret to improving body image is actually taking the time to improving your relationship with food. Now, I don't know what you think about that. You could be nodding along. You could be going, what in the world are you talking about? Take a moment and really think about, why did you start that first ever diet? You could have been 8. Yes, I've had clients as young as 8. Their mothers took them to Weight Watchers. They were, made to feel their body wasn't good enough. Pre-puberty. Could have been 10, could have been a teenager in your 20s, could have been recently. Why'd you start the first one? Usually, honestly, it's almost always, not usually, it's every time. We start the diet. We start restricting our food. We start trying to eat less because of how we feel about our body. Because how we've been made to feel how we've been made to feel about our body, how we've been treated because of our body, how we see that the world views our body. So we start the diet. We start restricting. We start negatively impacting our relationship with food. So one of the things I was sharing in group recently when this question came up is why my approach is the way it is. Yes, we work on body image. I always say it's like sprinkled everywhere because you can't escape it, right? You're thinking these thoughts, you're with your body every day, thankfully with your body every day. And one of the secrets, the best way I feel to approach body image work is first addressing your relationship with food. Because they're so interconnected. Part of it is separating the two, but part of it is feeling the success, the wins, the ahas, the gratitudes, the satisfaction, the, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to actually eat food when I'm hungry. This is what my life can be like when I'm not constantly thinking about food. How you feel about yourself when you honor your body in nourishing it, right? Food, honoring your hunger, respecting your fullness, all of these things, right? Making peace with food makes it so much easier to do the body image work. Body image work is not easy. Don't confuse the two that I'm saying. Body image work is not easy, but it makes it easier to do the body image work when we've done the work to heal your relationship with food. It's kind of like, okay, the teacher in me is going to come out right now. I loved math. I loved teaching math. I liked taking math classes. I like math. And in math, there's an order of operations, right? Do you remember learning that? Or maybe you have kiddos and you had to remember that because you were helping them. There's an order of operations of how you do things. Otherwise, the problem will not actually result in the correct answer. It's kind of like why I like math. There is a concrete answer. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. The way I see order of operations, and not like, hard and fast, you must do this my way. Like, no, that's not how it is. I always say body image work is sprinkled in. It has to be. But when you start addressing your relationship with food as the first thing, it makes the next thing easier. Part of it is because you feel better about yourself. Part of it is because you have the freaking energy you need to do the work, right? Because you're eating. You've probably been under eating, restricting, so you don't have the energy to deal with the body image thoughts and feelings that you have. So I believe the secret, I guess it's not a secret anymore. Okay. The secret, though, to improving body image is improving your relationship with food first. It is so valuable. And I understand, like, you want to skip over that step, but think about that again. I'm going back to that math example. If you skip a step, the answer doesn't come out right. If you skip this step, unfortunately, you could do all this body image work. And yet, if it's still so intertwined with food, you're going to keep circling back again and again and again on the same issues. So, what would it look like if you really healed your relationship with food? that you invited foods you've been saying, I shouldn't have these. These aren't allowed. These aren't healthy. I can't eat that. What would it look like if you had the foods in your home, like you bought the foods you really wanted to have? What if that meant you made peace with all foods? What if you actually addressed the thoughts you have about food, the rules that you've been living by, maybe since you were young, that are actually doing more harm than good? What if you did that first, sprinkled in the body image, and then you were able to really dive into improving your body image? Now, you might be like, great, that sounds wonderful. Well, how do I do that? I got you. So something that I just am releasing, literally as this podcast is coming out, I have something so amazing that I'm sharing. It's actually an opportunity for you to really dive deep into healing your relationship with food, sprinkling that body image work. Like, yes, please. And you can do it in a way that works for you. I created this self-paced course for intuitive eating. Now, listen, knowledge is wonderful. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is amazing. I love learning. I love it. And you might love learning too, or maybe like it. But implementation, doing the things, actually working out the things you're learning about, that's where things change, right? Like you could learn the theory all day long, but if you don't put it into practice, it still just stays a theory, right? And this is what I found with a lot of my clients, where they're like, the book is so great, like I understand it, I get the principles, but I'm kind of stuck in like putting it into action. It's actually the number one reason why I created the course. And I created it to be self-paced. Why did I do that? Because you have a life. You might have a family. You might have plans coming up this summer. You might have things going on and you're like, I cannot try to get all this done in the next couple of weeks. And really you shouldn't. This work should be done at your own pace. This work should be done where you feel confident moving on to the next principle. So in this course, I have recorded audios. Yes, it's me teaching. So if you enjoy the podcast, you are going to love the course. But I also have a lot of ways to really dive deeper into the work in your own thoughts, feelings, actions, and then put things into practice when it comes to the principles of intuitive eating. If that is exactly what you've been looking for. Maybe you didn't even know it when you started this. You're like, wait a minute, I want the secret to improving my body image. I thought this was going to be about body, but now I realize how interconnected those are. And I guess, yeah, that's where I want to start. You can actually go right into the show notes, click self-paced intuitive eating course. That's it. Super simple. You actually have two options when it comes to the course. I want to make it accessible. So you have a pay in full and then you have a 3 payment option. Choose what works for you. Now, I have one more thing to share on this episode. If you're listening to this in real time, meaning like it's May of 2023, there's actually a bonus offer for you. If you choose to, you could actually bundle the course with a 90-minute intensive with me. It is completely focused on hunger and fullness, really tuning back into your body, getting really clear on that. We actually would work together for a 90-minute session. And I'm bundling that together with the course, but only for May of 2023. I'm so sorry if you're hearing this after May of 2023. Now, good news is the course is always available for you, but this bundle expires May 31st. Now, you don't have to have that intensive session like scheduled, by the end of May. I'm actually running those all throughout June. But if you want that bundle, you need to make sure you grab that before the 31st. All right, I am so excited about this. I'm so excited to actually see women healing their relationship with food, which ultimately heals the relationship you have with your body. And can you imagine literally walking around your life feeling good, comfortable, confident, sexy, secure in the body that you're in right now. Ooh, it's so good. All right. I'll see you in the course. I can't wait to see if you grab one of those intensives, and I'll meet you right back here next week on the podcast.